Okay, this is the second part of the lesson, the slightly more advanced part. You should all have a go at these. So I just need to change the pen colour so that it comes out when I PDF the file. What we're going to do is we're going to solve some problems by doing calculations. But these aren't calculations to know the actual answer. These are the sorts of things where I know there's 23 cars and a typical car is 2.353 kilograms. I might have those information, but I want to know something about the lorry, like how much must it be able to pull. One down below, it's a bus company charges me $3.20 for a trip per person. They know they've earned $832 on a day when they sent 10 buses on the trip. They want to know roughly how many people were there. But these are rough, they're approximate calculations. So we're now covering the stuff of able to round numbers properly to perform simple calculations. It's not about getting the right answer, but it's being able to say, how big is that answer? So let's go for the car one. Actual calculation. Think first of all what calculation we're going to do. We would do. So you would normally take 23 cars and multiply them by the weight. Now, if you haven't got a calculator on hand, that could take a bit of time. You just want to be able to turn around and say, oh, we need a truck that can do this amount of load. Oh, what is that? Come on, my pen's playing silly games with me again. I'll just pause the video a minute. Right, hopefully it's then working for us. There we go. So normal calculation will be each car is 2353 kilograms, so we're going to multiply the two, and that will give me an accurate answer. But we just want to know roughly how big it is. So a typical situation. So I don't need to know the numbers exactly, I just have to have an idea where we're going to say how big the lorry needs to be. The sorts of numbers people can do in the head are numbers with one digit first. So we're going to round first of all to one significant figure each value. So we get 20 times 2. Look at the next place is 3. I ignore the 53 completely. This is round down. So this is 2,000 kilograms. Now a calculation that you should be able to do in your head reasonably quickly. 20 times 2,000, well, the 2 turns to 4, and we got everything moves one place bigger than the 1,000. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got about 40,000 kilograms we can tell our boss. Now, just for the side, that is actually a metric ton of 40 tons. Just so that you're aware, 1,000 kilograms is a ton. So a truck needs to be able to pull 40 tons to carry 23 cars. Your boss comes back and says, oh, can we get a slightly better answer? Now, the 23 cars may not need to change, but we went quite a way away with this mass. So if we have a look at the 2353, round that to two significant figures. The 3, look at the next place, the 5. 5 says round up, so we get 2,400 kilograms. Sorry, we don't need the 3 on this. This should be a 0. And this is using a 2 significant figure value and a 1 significant figure value. Now, in a minute we'll come back and look at something else we can say with this. So multiply through by 2, 2 times 2 times 4, and 4. 2 times 24 is 48. 1, 2, 3 places bigger. So we now have a mass of 48 tons. And that's 2 significant figures. Now, there's a little thing that we can think about along the way. This first value, we went down. This second value went down. So we know this is a low number. This first value on the second line went down. The second value went up. So we could be quite accurate. So we'll find out just how accurate we are by using the calculation and do the original calculation. Now, I'm not, if you're asked to estimate, you shouldn't be showing this working unless they ask you to. So 23, if you're ever asked to estimate in an exam, and you do the calculation and then round down, sorry, you will lose the marks. So this calculation I'm doing now would not be valid as an estimation calculation in here. They're looking for these numbers being rounded to one or two significant figures. Actual answer was 54,000, so we were still quite low. 54,119 kilograms. But when this semi-accurate answer wasn't too far away. You could possibly improve by thinking of rounding this number in a different way. Sometimes it's worth rounding these to mid places rather than one significant figure. So I could have done 25 times 2,400. It's not a proper rounding though, but it would give us a better calculation, and I can do 25 times this number and then realise that I've gone over. But that's what they're looking for, round to one significant figure or two significant figures. If you want to try and be reasonably accurate, look at can you round down and round up to make it reasonably good, to get a slightly better number. So let's come down to the second one. Let's look at our numbers. Well, the total was $832. They sent 10 buses and $3.20 each per person, and we want to know the number of people. So the original calculation to get the 832 is number of people times 320 on a bus, and we had 10 buses, so that's people on a bus on average, and that was 832. To get my calculation, I would rearrange it. I want the number of people is 832, and when these come to the other side, they turn into division parts. So we get 3.2 times 10. So to be able to do rounding, round to one significant figure. Normally a good start. So we got 800 divided by 3. Just so you know, this little wavy line in the middle means about. It's an approximate or estimated value. It's saying that something in here is no longer accurate. One significant figure in the bottom is 3 times 10. So what we're going to wind up trying to do is do 800 divided by 30. And it's perfectly accepted in the books to think, in the exams to think, what numbers do I know that will divide easily, quite close? So we could actually take this and say, well, we'll cancel the zeros, and a number that's close to 80 that divides by 3 is 81. 81 divided by 3, 81 is 9 squared, 9 is 3 3s, so I've actually got 9 times 3, 27 people on a bus left. So it is actually appropriate to sometimes adjust the numbers to make the calculation simpler. 27 people on a bus. If I pull in the calculator now, the calculation we were actually doing was $832 shared by $3.20 per people multiplied by 10 buses, and the result of that should be the number of people, and that says 26. So it's saying there are 26 people. We've said there are about 27 people. For an about statement, that's pretty good. Okay, that's the calculations. You can now be looking at questions 17, 18, 19, and we'll look at the other questions when we've done others. So you're looking at 18 and 19 for this. So questions 17, 18 and 19. Sorry I didn't write the questions on the previous one, but we're looking at exercise 1.4, questions 17. Again, do a column, any 3. Do one column. 18 and 19 are appropriate questions for this. Okay, there you go.